Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again. I was supposed to be on here at 9:30, but we had to go to the mall. So I switched it to 10:30. Then when I got back early, I said, well, let me go on, come on. Shout out to the NTZ crew. It's Jacob Tanjay. What's up, brother? Thank you so much, man. Whenever I see you, man, dinner, lunch is on me, breakfast, whatever it is. Michael Beach of Life, I got you too, man. All my fourth quarter members. What's up, Jeffrey Town? He said, good to see you back in your element, Cal. Yeah, I'm not 100% back yet, but we're still in Manila. When y'all see that familiar background in St. Carlos City, I'll be back. What's up, Cisco? Michael Alexander, man. Thank all of y'all fourth quarter members for your support, man. I don't take that for granted. All my old heads. I thought I saw Doubtful Genius on here. I did. What's up, man? Thank you. JMF, Kevin Strong. Hey, Johnny S. is my buddy from the Bay Area. He actually came here to the Philippines. Had to go back. Had an emergency in the family. He said, welcome back, Cal. It's a big relief every time I touch down in the Philippines. Yeah, it is. But y'all know, we always have a topic, but I'll do, let me, uh, I'm remiss. Any new viewers and subscribers, I'm sorry. Join us today. Welcome. And anybody catching this on replay. The peso is 55.90. It's slipping, man. It's slipping fast. It's been down about 2 pesos per dollar, I'm going to say in less than a month. Thank you, Mr. Blockhead, for that. He's single-handedly destroying the damn economy, the world economy. And I don't care. You can get on here and talk all crazy if you want. He's the reason. But yeah, it's 55.9. I mean, it's not panic mode yet, man. But if it keeps dropping, you can believe it. He said, Cal was the thrill of Manila as soon as he got hold of Maryland. Hell, she was more happy to see me than I was of her. She certainly misses me. But you know, that's my ace, man. We do everything together. He said, that was a nice video, Cal. Hey, thank you. What's up, Mac baby? I appreciate the super chat. He said, you feel there's more hate in the U.S.? Oh, absolutely. But, you know, I'm going to be honest, man. It's a lot of good in the U.S. It's not all bad, but in the U.S., it's right there in your face. Mac baby. It's not, they don't hide it. Over here, because I don't know the language, I really don't know what people are saying about me. But their actions say I'm welcome. But yeah, I would have to say the United States, certainly right now. I mean, it's just something that's never going to go. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, did y'all see the NFL draft? I mean, come on, man. What they did to Shedeur Sanders. It just says, hey, look, man, we're in power over here. We're going to do whatever we want to do. It's just too much of that going on in America. That's what I don't like. That's being insecure. Happy Traveler, what's up? He said, when are we restarting the 30 day? As soon as I get home. As soon as I get back to St. Carlos City and get back in the gym and everything, man. I've been off the beam, man. You know, I haven't been in my right state of mind. What's up, W Secrets of Success? He said, Cal, you look rejuvenated. No, man. Thank you, but I don't. But I'm not. Man, this jet lag is kicking my butt. Okay, James Mack, my buddy from South Carolina, him and his wife came by and took me in Maryland, went to a nice American-themed restaurant yesterday, the Filling Station in Makati, and the food was delicious. And And they were supposed to come and pick us up today, and this kind of took us out to their house in Cavite. I had to message him, man, I can't make it, man. I'm sleepy, man. This jet lag is going to take a few days because I'm waking up in the middle of the night, then going back to sleep, and waking up. And see, we went to Denny's this morning to eat breakfast, man. As soon as I ate the breakfast, I wanted to climb back in bed, but I said, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this live stream, man. I need to do it. Let everybody know I did get back. Oh, don't think I wasn't chomping at the bit. I was thirsty now. I was hungry, for the pushy. That's a fact. I'm not going to lie about that, but, man, she missed me more than I missed her. And I could tell. What's going on, man? But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed about this peso because it was supposed to have been up to 62 by the end of the year. He's supposed to hit 90 deals in 90 days. Nobody's calling. The telephone is crickets over there. The GDP has slipped. The economy is shrinking under this clown. And any of you megas on here, I don't care, just like I don't knock your political choice, don't knock me for talking about the real life stuff's going on over there. I don't care who you vote for. I don't hold it against you. But don't hold it against me for stating facts. This man inherited a robust economy, and he's single-handedly destroying it. Now they've got an investigation on this market manipulation, on this insider trading stuff. Yeah, he said, yeah, she was relieved you returned. She was nervous that you would stay in the state. Now, she knew I wasn't going to stay there. Okay? She knew that for sure. What's up, Juice? That's my buddy, man. It's a good guy, man. If you ever get to meet this guy in Chicago, he's the real deal. Knows where all the nice spots is. I mean, his hospitality, man. Him and Eric Sadler, those guys, man, are A1 on my list, man. I mean it. Anytime I go to Chicago, that's 1 and 1A I'm checking out. What's up, James Wilson? Yeah, he single-handedly destroyed the economy, man. And I'm mad about it. A lot of my friends have lost money, man. A lot of money that they don't have, man. That's what I'm saying. It's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That's the topic today. This is your live stream. We'll talk about anything you want to. But a lot of people were wanting to retire. They're not going to be able to retire now. They actually got to go back to work. This is similar to that Enron scandal. Remember that? Where people are thinking, yeah, I'm going to retire. One guy had $1 million. He thought he had $1 million in his 401k. He ended up with had $1,000 in his. He worked for 40 years. See, when it starts dealing with the average man, yeah, I'm getting mad, and I'm going to speak my mind. Just like UPS is laying off 20,000. Now, their big hub is located in my hometown. So a lot of people are going to lose their jobs because of these damn tariffs. What's up, Uncle Manny? He said, yeah, I'm here waiting for the next meet and greet. Yeah, it's either going to be in Subic Bay if my buddy gets back in time, or I may have it at that filling station in Makati, man. That place is nice. It said that there's $5 million worth of memorabilia in there, and I believe it. I'm going to post some pictures, man. They got some crazy cars in there. They got a damn Cadillac. It looked to be like a 1960. Man, that's the longest car I've ever seen. You can actually eat inside of it. They got a booth inside of it. Yeah, he said, hit the like button, guys. He said, yeah, I'm glad you're back, man. It's great to be back. I'm not going to lie, man. People complain about the heat over here because, it's May. It's the summer, man. We're in the thick of the summer over here. I mean, and in Manila, it's hotter than anywhere else, I believe. don't care. I'm so glad to feel that heat after that old up and down weather in Louisville. One day it's 50 degrees, the next day it's 80. So yeah, I'm grateful that you take care of everything. What time did they say the clothes gonna be ready? 8 o'clock at night. Oh, God. Well, yeah. Hey, Ron. Hey, he said, "Yeah, glad you back." Yeah, and plus it's election time over here. So look, my man. It's election time. When is election?
May something.
May what?
8.
May 8 or something. She said. I don't know, but it's a good thing because we were going to go on a little short vacation, but I bought so much souvenirs. I don't want to be packing all this stuff around, man. We're just going to head back to St. Carlos City, and then once Sahara gets out of college, I think her last day is the 22nd. We're going to take the kids on vacation, probably Sicky Hall, somewhere like that. What's up, Link 1111? He said, brother, regarding your singing talents, he said, come on, brother, when will that CD drop? Oh, yeah, we heard the magic. So when can we purchase your CD? A lot did not know you're on that level. Man, I was just messing around, man, believe it or not. I didn't have a microphone with that. I was singing halfway. I was in the doorway of the bathroom. So I was halfway in the hallway, halfway in the bathroom to get that little, that was my microphone, really. But yeah, thank you, man. I just be messing around, though. Keith Sweat is easy to sing for somebody like me with my key. Everybody, man, if you find your right key, the problem is we sing off key. We're trying to sound like people that you can't sing in that key. It's like me trying to sing Michael Jackson or El DeBarge or the Stylistics or somewhere. I would sound stupid. But if I try to sing like, Lou Rawls, Jermaine Jackson, Keith Sweat, like that, what's the other one I sung? Anybody like that, like, what's the guy that died that sung Operator? Jim, what's his name? Played the guitar. Him and his buddy, they died in a plane crash. They sang Bad Bad Leroy Brown. See, I can sing in their key. Yeah, he said the jet lag's no joke, man. Oh, man, tell me about it, man. And I believe going home is worse, but then coming back, man, I'm waking up. What time did I wake up today? I believe I woke up. I went to bed, first of all, at 5 o'clock yesterday. So then I woke up at 9. Then I went back to sleep, woke up at 2. Then I woke up at 3:30. Then I think I woke up at 5:49 and I stayed up. Yeah, he said, yeah. But, that's the longest we've been apart since the pandemic. And y'all guys think I just be on here talking, man. If you got a legitimate relationship like we do, we've been together, man. Today is our 6-year anniversary when we first, were together, not chatting. May the 2nd. Man, the LDR, man, is torture, man. And that's what I talk about all the time. I'm not saying, oh, you come over here one time and you see the girl and you go back home. That's not a long-distance relationship. It's when the feelings get involved. When you really start, caring about somebody and, you're not able to be with them for no other reason other than you're 8,000 miles away. That's torture, man. Well, that's the way you look at it. China, America's destroying America. We don't need China's help. That blockhead up there is doing enough by itself. But, if that's the way you want to look at it, I can't knock your opinion, brother. I'm not here to argue with you. But China's not destroying America. The corporations sold us out a long time ago. They said, oh, yeah, y'all want cheaper products. Okay, we're going to give you that. They moved all the factories overseas. They started buying all that stuff from China and different places. Nothing's made in America anymore. Y'all not complaining. What he's talking about doing, man, it would take forever. You wouldn't see it, Buddy Muggs. You wouldn't see it anyway because there's no plan behind it. He's a blockhead. Now they're talking about, oh, yeah, China needs to de-escalate. Fool, don't you realize you're the one who started the damn tariffs? But what he's talking about, bringing manufacturing back, reopening the coal, bringing back the coal jobs. If y'all really believe that stuff, man, I mean, I don't have no sympathy for you. Yeah, he's ruining everything. But you know, he's got them syncopaths all around him. They just they're yes men all around him, man. This is the worst. Okay, there was something at the Kennedy Center last night, and a director received an award. He said, Trump is going to be the worst mistake of our lifetime. And he's telling the truth. You know, when it's all said and done, what this man is doing, you know. He said, I'm glad you're back, brother. I can't wait to move to the Philippines and Cabancalan. Yeah. How far is Cabancalan from us? About 3 hours? More than that? Oh, yeah, because, yeah, it's about 5 hours. But that's the way we went when we went to Sapalai, right? We went through Cabancalan. Yeah, looking forward to the next meet and greet. Yeah. Excuse me. I may have one in San Carlos City before that. Because the engineer, Arthur, he got a new hotel. They built a hotel, they built an extension to their hotel. And I told him I may want to have a meet and greet over there to help him out, because, he just let me have the place. Hell, we'll buy the food ourselves and drinks like we always do. He said, Sandra and his daddy didn't help his situation by blowing the team job interviews, nor not working out. Yeah, I mean, but okay, you gonna tell me Johnny Manziel? You tell me he aced the damn interviews and stuff? I'm saying, okay, all of that should say, okay, fool, you're gonna go from a first round to a second round. But the fifth round, come on, W Secret to Success, he's better than that. He's better than that. Y'all ought to know that them NFL owners all about collusion, man. This isn't the same NFL when Peyton Eli Manning tried that stuff back in, what was that, the 90s or whatever it was. Man, the NFL's a behemoth now. They got their own day, Sunday, and then they're taking over Thursday and Monday. Man, the NFL's a beast now. So you're right. Yeah, you can't do that stuff, but it's all, about control, man. It's all, I was looking at something. I don't know who said it, but they said the truth. He said, this is a message. He said, we're going to use them as an example, but it's actually a message for everybody to stay in your damn place. See, I don't like that. You're going to make a little 23-year-old, he's basically a kid, pay, but, they sent a message to everybody. Like, we're in control, and you don't have no say-so. He said the economy would come back. Yeah, let's hope it does, man. It probably will, but how long will that take? And it won't be under these. We know it's going to come back, but it won't be under these policies, John R. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. Okay? So what are you saying? Okay, so what are you saying? It's up for the past 5 days. The money that people lost, they'll never get that money back. Now, their account may get back, but They've already lost that money. He said, hey, Cal, anything you missed since you left America? Oh, absolutely. The convenience of everything. When I left, the tariffs hadn't really kicked in like they're starting to kick in. The shelves are still full. So, you can get just about anything you want. So I loaded up on some stuff. Man, I really got me a system, this Gillette Skin Guard system. I got the blade, the face scrub, and the moisturizer. Man, my damn razor bumps are gone. See, you can't get anything like that here. See, that's the reason why I never did shave. I used the clippers or something. Because, I don't like the razor bumps. But then I looked it up and they said, yeah, they got the Gillette Skin Guard, specifically for ingrown hairs and stuff like that, man. It really works, guys. If you have a problem with ingrown hair like I do, that's why I couldn't get a clean shave. It will work. It absolutely works. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, he said, man, what are you talking about? But I said, let me come on here and, let people know, man, that I'm still alive over here and kicking. But yeah, you're right, man. It's going to take a while. Remember, I just got here early Tuesday morning. You might as well say late Monday night. By the time I laid down, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I got right back up because of the jet lag. It was really like 4 in the evening over there. Yeah, that Enron, it was a bad black eye on Houston. Yeah, they made some mistakes, but, how can you go from being talked about as being maybe the number one pick or even certainly top 3 or maybe top 10 or even top 20 to all the way to the 5th round, Yeah, he said rest in peace to the victims in Vancouver. Now, somebody told me that there was an Asian guy that they caught that did that. But it doesn't really matter. It was on Lapu Lapu Day, and I said, what else could happen before I get here to the Philippines? What else could happen? Maryland's best friend gets killed. Okay, then right after that, here comes the 9 people that got killed, and I don't know how many injured in Vancouver at the Philippine Lapu Lapu Festival. I'm saying, let me hurry up and get on this plane and get over here. But yeah, thanks for reminding me that, Cisco. I forgot all about that. I should have mentioned that. What's up, Brock's Big Adventures? He said, just get back from Atlanta. He said, I'm back home. What up, Cal? They say home is where the heart is. He said, you look better. Thank you. It is where the heart is, man. That's why I'm here. My life is here, man. It's not that I don't like America, but if your life is here, your heart is here, if me and Marilyn went together, remember, I don't live hypothetically. Maybe I would have stayed longer, but, her and Booby were pulling on me to get back. They were not, literally pulling on me, but I'm saying my connection to them. Booby's calling me every day, Daddy, when you coming home? Yeah, what's up, Sam? I was going to come out your way today, man, but, man, this damn jet lag is kicking my butt. He said, once I get to the Philippines, I'm going to make one of your meet and greets. Yeah, these meet and greets be nice, man. What's up, Blizzard Abroad? I ain't forgot about you, man. Let me get my feet underneath me. What's today? Friday? Maybe Sunday. And I'll hit you that link. Because you off on Saturday. Yeah, but people are in denial. He says, America's a disaster. Glad to be where I'm at, the Philippines. Yeah, but people are in denial. See, that's why, we can't move forward. They just don't want to say a lot of them are saying I made a mistake. But now it's time to deal with it. Okay, we made a mistake. Let's impeach this fool. Let's get him out of there before it gets even worse. Yeah. Tell me about it. He said, I'm only 48 hours out. Who's Kenny Rankin? Who is that? I'm going to have to look him up, man. He said, hey, Michael, the true girls left a big hole in a lot of guys' life. Too bad Jim then got married. That's the one that got away. Oh, did they finally give it up and they're done? What's up? And man, I hope your family's, man, healing best it can and lost your mother, man. It takes a long time with times of travel. Yeah, Jim Croce. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, he said, yeah, they didn't even hire an agent, which does the negotiations. Well, Lamar Jackson didn't either, but those scouts, man, they're wrong about Lamar Jackson too. They're wrong a lot of times, man. And if the thing about Shedeur Sanders, if he's good, he'll eventually get his money, but they cost him a lot of money. And I believe there's collusion there. I believe they got a case. But if he files that case, he may never play in the NFL if they decide to file that case. There's no way all those teams are going to pass on him, man, all the way to the 5th round. Come on, guys. We're not stupid. See, that's the thing about America. They'll tell you that what you're seeing with your own eyes is not what you're seeing. That's the reason I got out of there, man. That frustrates me. Now, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that man went from being a top 3 pick, just say 1st round pick, all the way to the 144th pick. You tell me that they were going back and forth between him and Cam Ward as to who is the best quarterback. Now all of a sudden, you're going to take 5 other quarterbacks before him, man? Bullshit. And you're talking about teams who needed quarterbacks, who needed backups. They just kept passing him over and over and over. Bullshit, man. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but he didn't make them kind of mistakes. He said, hey, guys, remember the 401s are meant to be supplemental retirement income, but hell, not anymore, though. We don't have the pensions that our fathers had, our 68 DVR. We don't have a pension. Most jobs, man, you're lucky if your job has a retirement plan like that. I mean, you really are. Hey, Road to the Philippines. What's up, Danny? Thank you, brother, for the super chat. He said, hey, Cal, good to see you back in the Philippines. I've been back for almost 10 months. I hope to be there permanently this year. I need lots of prayers. Yeah, man. That's what we're going to talk about today. What's the smart move that people always talk about? And I thought about this because I saw a guy yesterday. I met a guy named Danny. He's from LA. He's been here for 3 years. And he said, yeah, he's 64 already. He could retire now. But he says, no, I'm going to wait till I'm 65. And I have 42 years in and plus my Social Security. And, it just depends, man. I pulled the trigger a long time ago. But yeah, man, if anybody deserves to be over here, it's you, Danny. If anybody can tell us about a long distance relationship and how hard it is, okay, it's you. I'm talking about he can really tell you, man. He's got a real relationship with his woman. They've been together for years. I can't imagine doing it. I can't imagine being away from Maryland for 10 months like that. I don't know how you do it. I mean, you got to do it, though. I mean, when you got to do it, you don't have a choice. But like, damn. He says, Cal, absolutely it does because of the the trading and stuff. Remember during the lockdowns, the Philippines wasn't importing a whole lot from America. So they didn't need the dollar. So the peso was never what it is now. Hell, once the Philippines opened back up and they eased the lockdowns and everything, the dollar went like this against the peso. But yeah, it does. It's 55.90, man. You gotta understand. Just what, a month or two ago, right before I left the Philippines, hell, it was approaching 59. Yeah, something's going on. It's not good when it's going in that direction. We were looking at it. Michael Beecher Life said it, and I had every reason to believe him because of the way the dollar was going. He said he read somewhere where it was supposed to hit 62. And I was like, yeah, I believe it. He said, whether the economy comes back or not, I'm out of here. Yeah, I went to this other bubble option yesterday. Now, when I first arrived in Newport City, just a little short area I was in, I was like, wow, this is nice. This looks like Moncton, Newtown, one of those places like this. I had no idea what was on that other end. Man, it's a plush lifestyle down at that other end. I don't care what anybody's saying. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I can't remember the last time I went to a place that had an actual Versace outlet store. That Newport City Mall, that's a fancy ass place, man. There's no regular shops in that place. It's nothing but big baller stuff. You gotta have money to shop there. Rolex, Tudor, Bally, Boss, just the whole 9 yards. There's no, you don't even have a Walmart in there, guys. Okay, there's nothing like that. They got a damn Versace outlet store in there. And then they got this big casino. The only problem was, I just wanted to show Maryland. They smoke in the damn thing, which, I said, well, hell. All the money they spending, that's the least they can do is let them smoke. But that place, man, I was really impressed, and I asked the question, is it better than BGC? I didn't say it was. Everybody knows BGC is the standard here. But it is another bubble option, man. That place, you could live there and never go anywhere else. I mean, you get you one of them condos there, man, and you wouldn't have to go anywhere. You wouldn't have to leave that place. You get right off the plane in Terminal 3, because I flew into Terminal 3 for some reason this time. Normally, it's either Terminal 2 or Terminal 1. And you could just walk across that walk all the way over to Newport City, man. It's impressive, though. I mean, it's really nice, man. That Hilton is huge. That Marriott is huge. These places are just huge. They remind me of those hotels in Vegas. Where I was in the basement because we stayed in the Paris Hotel in Vegas. And we're down in the basement, man. We're walking around shopping and stuff. I'm thinking to myself, are we still in this damn hotel? You know how big they are in Vegas. That's how big these hotels are in Newport City. They're huge, man. They go for, that Hilton goes for at least 2 blocks, I believe. But it's really, really nice over there. And then, if you go into Newport City Mall, you're going to go, as soon as you walk through the door, there's a casino. But then they've got a live band every night. You just go in there and listen to the live band. He said, yeah, the Browns are a quarterback graveyard. They don't know what they're doing. The NFL owners is racist, but we still love the game. Yeah, see, we still support that. So it's always going to be you're giving them more power, man. The NFL, man, look at the NBA. It stopped growing. The NFL, man, is just a beast, man. Yeah, I mean, even if he is an average player, he's not a 5th round draft pick, man. Okay? you got to understand that this guy, you see the team he played for you give him some time. You mark my words, V. I want you to come back on here if he makes this team and he's the starter and they put any type of protection around him. He's gonna pick them people apart, man. The guy's got talent. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson. Okay, but when people say, oh, well, Tom Brady came out in the round 6, but he didn't come out of college with the accolades that Shedeur Sanders has. The only reason he looked average like that, y'all got to realize, man, go back and look at his recruitment coming out of high school. He didn't have to go to Jackson State. He didn't have to go to Colorado. He did that with his father. All the big teams wanted him. That man can play, man. Y'all crazy. He's better than a damn 5th round pick. This is what y'all do. Y'all keep on regurgitating stuff. We sit here and watched him. This is what everybody's saying. He was better than that. He was better than average. I'm not saying he was a generous. He wasn't Michael Vick or nobody like that. But who was coming out of there? Name me some of the guys who's recently come out who's really, he's not Josh Allen. It's only just a handful of people. A lot of the guys that came out with Lamar Jackson, they're not even in the league anymore. And they were top 4 and 5 picks. The NFL, they don't have that down to a science, certainly when it comes to quarterbacks. But if you think you're going to sit there and convince me that man was a 5th round draft pick, you full of shit, man. I don't want to hear that. You need to learn to think for yourself. Go back and watch some of them games, man. That man was picking people apart with no protection. He had a 71% completion rate. Put that man behind a line, and man, he would have threw for 10,000 yards probably. He got sacked more than any other quarterback in the last 2 years. Man was running for his life. Hey, Blizzard Broad, thanks for that super chat. He said, salute to TJ Johnson if he's in here. He held down a 4-hour live stream with me. Yeah, man, when I was over there on one of your live streams, I saw that a lot of the Sunshine Shows community is over there. And that's all we need to do, really, is if somehow, you could piggyback off of me some kind of way. Because when I get out here, people still be wanting to talk. See, it takes you got to use like a strategy. You don't want to come on before me because nobody's going to watch you. But if you come on behind me, man, you'll get a lot of people because you got some good topics, man. I stayed on there the other day. Yeah, well, King B's a good guy, but that's okay. Y'all don't understand. It doesn't matter. I don't hold it against people who they voted for. But they shouldn't hold it against me for speaking my mind either. I mean, you got to understand that the policies that Trump have, they don't help people like King B. King B voted for Trump for whatever his reason was, and that's his right to do it. He's an American citizen. He has that right. But when you start preaching facts, man, they don't like that. They don't like that, man. Trump has lost his mind. He's not in his right state of mind, man. He really thinks that MS-13 that somebody photoshopped on that man's hand is real. You can't make this stuff up, man. He was doing the interview and the guy just kept pushing back on him, fact checking and said, man, that's not real, Trump. That's, somebody photoshopped that on his hand. That's what we're dealing with in there, but it does, no matter what Trump does, they ain't going to help nobody like King B. Stacker. It's not going to help him. Hey, what's up, man? I'm happier, to get off that damn plane, to be honest with you. It's not flying, man. I'm telling you, it's just sitting on the damn plane for 15 hours. It's boring as hell. What can you do? I played blackjack. I played they got a casino app in there. So I was playing blackjack, solitaire, and the slot machine. That basically did me in because there really wasn't. I didn't watch one movie. I can't watch them movies, man. It did look like Vegas to me. Just a small part of Vegas, because Vegas, man, is huge. But see, people all the time talk about the Philippines isn't this or isn't that. If you got the money, man, you're going to live good anywhere. The people who talk like that, they don't have the money really to live a Western lifestyle or whatever it is. They really don't have the money to be talking like that because you can find that over here, but you got to have this. They talking about all the Philippines don't have infrastructure. Bullshit. You got infrastructure money. It's got infrastructure. But me and James Mack was talking yesterday. He lives a Western lifestyle. I live a Western lifestyle. Hey, what's up, man? Dank Magician God. He said, good to see you, Cal. Hope you're doing well. I am, man. Thank you. Don Ridgway, it's my homeboy. He came to the meet and greet in DeVal. Now imagine, man, it's almost been 2 more months, Don. It's be a year. And tell me time don't fly. That we were in DeVal together. TJ showed out. He said, Newport City is my go-to place. I always stay there when I fly into Manila. And it really, I was impressed. I was really impressed with that place. He said, Sanders keeps his eyes down, field is very poised. The fact that he fell that far is a joke. It is. Man, the man, all you got to do is go back. The tape don't lie. He stands in that pocket to the last minute. He's took some hits, man. He keeps his eyes downfield. The man knows how to play the game. If he gets a shot, a legitimate shot in the NFL, he's going to show them. And then everybody's going to know it was a collusion. So maybe that's the next move. Don't give him a legitimate shot. Because if he becomes a starter and he gets this big contract, everybody's going to know. Well, we know anyway. You're going to tell me what I'm seeing, living and experiencing is not what I'm seeing, living and experiencing. This is what pisses me off about over there. They're getting down well with collusion. All them teams every team like that going to keep on passing him by. The Cleveland Browns passed on him. How many times? And ended up taking Dylan Gabriel. Okay, look at Tyler Shuck. Even though he played for Louisville last year, this guy's like 26 years old. He's got a whole family already. He was picked number 40 by New Orleans, okay? Now, you're going to tell me he's better than Shadur Sanders? This guy's career is riddled with injury. Well, everybody knows that's what this is. It's nothing but like a slave trade. That's what they call it. That's all it is. I think he'll get a little bit more protection though than he had. He may have a half a second or two more in Cleveland than he did in Colorado. But man, yeah, it was a down year for that league. But he wasn't 5th round, man. Come on. Yeah, they do what they are. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Look what they did to Colin Kaepernick. And you're going to tell me that there's no collusion. That's why he won the lawsuit. And that's why he's never played in the NFL again. He took a team to the damn near won a Super Bowl. Destroyed everybody. Okay? Put up just unbelievable numbers. Then he took a knee, and now they said, oh, he's not good enough to play in the NFL no more. And see, this is the type of stuff, this is America for you. Hey, thanks, Sal's Journey, for that super sticker, man. I really appreciate it. You know, we're just having the locker room discussion, guys. You know good and damn well You can talk about what we want to on here, but y'all not gonna come on here with that bullshit. You know that man was no fifth round pick. Come on, man. 144. You tell me 143 players taken before him. Hey, thanks for that super chat, Dank Magician God. He says it's been 2 years since I was in the Philippines. Watching you reminds me of the good times I had there. Maybe it's time for another vacation. Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying, guys, right here. Some guys, they say, okay, well, it's all or nothing. Either I'm going to go over there and retire, I'm just going to wait at home. But there's an in-between. Remember I met the guy, Danny. He was from California. He came there for 3 weeks, man. You cannot keep working on that hamster wheel, man. Take a break. Why not go to Thailand for 3 weeks? Why not go to Malaysia, one of those places, the Philippines? You can't work yourself to death, man. Those people don't appreciate you. I mean, how much money you need before you want to take a nice vacation? And I put down here, what do you do for a good time? Put it over here, guys. What do y'all do for a good time? What do you do to relax and take your mind away from that damn job? Because that job's just, man, I tell you, it's the new prison now. He said, yeah, not the fifth. Yeah, the fifth. But see, I'm going to tell you something. Let's talk about infrastructure. And I was talking to a guy in Bacala. And he's like, we both agreed. We said, we never heard of the infrastructure. I hadn't heard of infrastructure talk until I started vlogging, until I had a channel. I'd never heard. Remember, I started my channel in 2020. I started coming to the Philippines in 2009. I never heard anybody even compare places. They were just happy wherever they were. But they certainly wasn't talking about the infrastructure, man. Come on. He said, I'm mixed on it, Cal. Yeah, it was clearly collusion. But NFL owns, but at the same time, you as a prospect can't tell people what to do or how to run their business. Yeah, I agree with you. He tried to do something that Eli Manning did, but this isn't the same NFL that Eli Manning did that to. This NFL is a whole lot stronger. It's a whole lot bigger and a lot more powerful. Because Eli Manning was not a generational talent, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. He wasn't Peyton Manning. I don't care how you flip it. If you put his career at Mississippi and what he did, and Shedeur Sanders over here, just looking at both of them coming out of college, it's not that much difference, guys. I'm sorry. He wasn't some phenomenal athlete. He wasn't all that. But it was his last name. It's the same thing with Shedeur Sanders. That's the only thing I can see the similarity, basically, with their ability. He was like Eli Manning in ability. Okay? Eli Manning wasn't generational talent. I'm sorry. Hey, what's up? He says, I'll be in Cebu next month. He said, we can win in the Philippines if you what? Let's get on the plan. Ilocos Norte, yeah. Yeah, I know where you are. That's where Jenna Lynn is from up that way. But she's from Vegan City. He said, tough for me to not bring a woman here. I'm 33 and she's successful Filipino foreign relationships. What's he saying? Tough for me to not bring a woman here. Yeah, well, if you're saying, of course, you're too young to retire. And you want to bring a woman over, the odds are really with you that your woman is not going to run off. The odds aren't against you. People will say don't do it. I did it, and man, it worked out really. The reason I said I won't do it again is because of the men over there. It's not the women. If you got an attractive woman and you take her to America, man, they're not going to give her a break. Because they're not used to seeing, women like that on a daily basis like that. What's up, Jack? Yeah, I'm back, buddy. We might be down that way to see y'all if we go to Sicky Hall. I'm glad, man. Every time I see your name, I think about my Social Security. I'm so happy about that. Get that taken care of. But if that's what you're saying, I don't think you have anything to worry about because there's a lot of successful Filipino foreign relationships. But that's not what gets the clicks. That's not what gets the headlines. It's the video I did the other day where the brother gets he scammed out of 1.5 million. The only reason it was a scam because the woman wasn't really interested in him. She was just taking his money. But if you give the woman your money, it's not a scam. But he did, in the Philippines, it's called a love scam, and it's a crime. They call it what do they call it when you cheat somebody? What's it called? Something, when you cheat somebody over here. What's the charge called? Alpha or something? If you scam somebody and they go and place a charge against you, a case.
Staffa.
What?
Staffa.
Yeah, what's it called?
Staffa.
Staffa. That's what they're going to charge her with. Because he's not going to get his money back. I guess he, no, I'm saying, okay, he wasn't all that good, man. But remember, Mike, it's all subjective. Sports is subjective, so we can argue this all day. The only reason he won those MVPs, man, did you see the plays those guys were making around him? Okay, and how long did it take him to win those MVPs? He didn't come in the league tearing people up. I'm telling you that he was not a generational talent. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Okay? I'm sorry. Either way you look at it, he wasn't all that, man. He was a Manning. That's what got him in there. And he had a hell of a defense and some. Did you see the catches that guy made? Or they was going to lose the game. He had some hell of people around him. He was no generational talent, man. I mean, if you think so, I can't argue against you. But not in my opinion. He said, now ICE is checking the green card. So all the Filipinos who abandon their husbands after getting to the country are worried. Well, no, they're not. No, they're not. Because they already know how to get around that. There's a way to get around that. They don't even need him to you get the green card first with conditions. Then the removal of conditions, and you get the 10-year green card. They already got, the Violence Against Women and Children Act in America is what they use to get around that and get their 10-year green card. And then eventually citizenship if they want it. They don't have anything to worry about. The only thing they have to worry about is if they go to the Philippines and they come back and they got something on their record. But they're not getting rid of green card holders like that, not from the Philippines, unless you got something on your record. Like that lady the lady had been here for 50 years. You got to understand something, guys. You can't nitpick like that. This is America. I mean, that's America. We don't play like that. We don't nitpick like that. This guy, man, is violating people's human rights. I can't agree with that. I don't care if he's the president or not. You don't do stuff like that, man. There's a rule of law. He's not some fucking gangster. He's be 79 pretty soon. He's demented, and he's full of shit, man. I don't care. I got free speech, man. It's not hate speech. It's okay for you to vote for him, but it's not okay for me to talk about him. It's both. It's the same, but yeah, that's not America. Yeah, Mustafa. This is what they're going to charge this lady with. Okay. Now it was 1.5 million, and then she wanted, okay, the red flag was she asked for 300,000. I guess he gave it to her. But then he figured out, oh, okay, she just wants my money. She don't want me. So I guess he wants to do it from revenge, to teach her a lesson. But what's the lesson you're going to learn? You know, something that we talk about over and over and over till you blue in the face. And men are still doing it. They're still sending money like that over here. A woman that the typical Filipina that you meet online would never need 1.5 million pesos. She would never need it. There's no reason for you to send her that kind of money. What is you thinking anyway? I don't care what type of natural disaster they've been in. They can work miracles with 10,000 pesos. Okay? Don't need a 1.5 million, and you never even met the girl before. But then she's talking about, you know, she's trying to be slick. And she's sitting up here talking about, can he send her 2.4 million? 2.4 million? If a woman asks you for that, yeah, she needs to be arrested. Yeah, lady, you need to be arrested. And he needs to be arrested if he was going to send it. 2.4 million to put down on down payment for a 14 million peso condominium. Come on, guys, you got it. I want to see this guy. I want him to come forward and tell that story. We want to see where your mind is, dude. You should have been done sniffed her out a long time ago. It wouldn't have took me long. I would have sniffed her out long before she asked for 300,000. He said, "Hey, Cal, I see. What are you saying? You took your Filipino to the..." I don't know what you're saying. Are those ninjas going to come after my girl? Oh, you mean if you take her over there? Of course they are. When the minute she starts working, and they're going to do it. But most Filipinos, they're just going to say, oh, you know, I've already got a husband. I'm married already. They understand what side of their bread is buttered on. You know, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, okay, so tell me that, okay, but you don't think Shadur Sanders didn't win the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award? Come on, man. Y'all guys know better than that. He won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, dude. What are you saying? I'm telling you that his talent's on the same level as Eli Manning. Eli Manning was not a generational talent, guys. He's not in the Hall of Fame, nor will he get into the Hall of Fame. If he does, it'll be on the backs of those two Super Bowls, but he wasn't a... Man, you're going to tell me that you watched Eli Manning all those years and you're telling me he's not a Lamar Jackson? He's not a... what's the guy in Buffalo? I just said his name. He's not him. He's not Brady and none of them guys like that. He's not Jaden Daniels or anybody like that. Eli Manning wasn't running the ball and nothing like that. Come on, guys. Y'all crazy. I watched them same games as y'all did. The point I'm making is he wasn't much better than Shadur Sanders. There's no way Shadur Sanders... So make the point that Shadur Sanders is a 5th round draft pick then, Kevin Strong. He won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. He finished 8th or 9th in the Heisman race. And you're going to ship him to the 5th round? Come on, guys. Y'all crazy. Don't do that. Yeah, but you got to understand, you're right. He wasn't a generational talent. He didn't lead the team. Those guys made some hell of a catches in them games. Go back and watch that catch that man made. to extend that drive. It's one of the all-time greatest catches in NFL history. He led nobody nowhere. Well, give Stuart Sanders a chance to lead somebody somewhere. I'm just talking about his talent level. You know, we already know he did that. But he wasn't all that, man. Eli Manning wasn't all that. He was not Peyton Manning. He wasn't his brother, guys. Come on, y'all know that. Hey, Eric Browders, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Sunshine Shows? I see you doing urban thing, bro. What's that? What do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean? Like I told you, go back and watch that game, Mike Dawsonville, and see that catch that man made. What was that name of that guy who made that catch on his helmet? That's what kept that. That's what won that Super Bowl for them. And, you know, he has some hell of people around him. Remember, once you make it to the NFL, now you got talent around you. Yeah, Peyton was a generational talent. Thanks for that super chat, George Wright. But for these guys, it's all subjective, though. You can sit here and talk till you blue in the face. I don't believe Eli Manning was a generational talent. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame then? He's been out long enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But thank you for that super chat. Yeah, he was. Peyton Manning was a generational talent. And it took him forever to win a Super Bowl. But we're just saying that you can make a case for collusion, man, with Shedeur Sanders. But if he ever brought that case, he would never play in the NFL. Hey, Eric Sadler, thanks for that super chat. See, I just mentioned you. He said, glad you made it back, brother. Appreciate the fellowship. Man, thank you, man. You and Juice, y'all my 1 and 1A in Chicago, man. He said, what did Shannon Sharp do? Oh, man, don't tell me you don't know what he did. He's messed his whole career up, is what he did. Hell, come on, man, it's crazy what Shannon Sharp did. He's ignorant, man, is what he is. He's a hypocrite, too. What was the name of because they keep showing the clip when he was, the other comedian, what's the other comedian was the baby I think she's 23. What's his name, Donnell or something? And Shannon Sharp just got all in his case. Come and find out, he's fooling. He met a 19-year-old woman at the gym. And now she's charging him with rape. And they're coming out with all the text messages and the phone conversations and everything. He's ruined. He had to step away from ESPN. I don't believe that $100 million contract is on the table anymore. I don't understand. What are you talking about? He said, I didn't hear any of these guys talk when you was in Ville. Now it's back to the Philippines hate. He said, come on, fellas. I like Afro-Latinos, Afro-Caribbeans, etc. If a man loves the Asian culture, don't hate. Yeah, I'm glad I went past all this hate because, people got preferences, man. I don't really have a preference, to be honest with you. He says, 26-year-old rookie, very risky pick. Yeah, they took him at number 40 now. You're going to convince me that he's a better prospect than Shedeur Sanders? This guy, he's got a whole family already. He's married and everything. He's had like 6 or 7 years in college. Yeah. They talk about that. I've never heard anybody talk about the infrastructure though. I really did. I never heard the infrastructure talk. And we was at the restaurant yesterday eating, man. There's a bunch of, foreigners in there with their Filipino girlfriends and wives, man. Everybody seemed happy. I mean, if you don't like it here, I wouldn't put the country down. It just doesn't make sense to me. He said, my time going to the Philippines, it didn't bother me. I was sitting by a fine Chinese lady, kept telling me I smelled good. Actually fell asleep on my shoulders, didn't feel like a 15-hour flight. Yeah, it went by quick, but I was basically counting the minutes, man, because I just couldn't get into them. There wasn't a good enough movie in their selection for it to distract me. And, he said, we know it wasn't all about football. Yeah. And now they're saying they're trying to get back at Dion. Something was going on, guys. Come on. That man slipped all the way to the fifth round. What's up, T. Williams? But, hey, what's up, Cornelius? No reason to be sorry, man. We got to give y'all a rain check, man. We're beat, man. This damn jet lag didn't hit me, but I came on here because I owe my viewers and subscribers this one. But no, you're not late. I didn't start till 10 o'clock. But yeah, Ice not gonna mess with them women over there. Yeah, he's getting barbecued. But he did it to himself though. But you gotta realize something, man. That was his whole thing. He was barbecuing everybody else. Yeah, but we're talking about his brother, Eli. We're not talking about. He said, agreed 1,000%. Sanders, should have won in the first round. But let's be clear, the NFL team's culture is still wrapping their heads around this new genre of black quarterback, so the rules are different. Oh, absolutely. It has more to do with football, man. That man shouldn't have slipped to the fifth round. You can't tell me he's a fifth rounder. They cost him millions and millions of dollars. They're saying $40 million over the course of that first contract. You see what the number one, number two, and number three, they have at least 10 million guaranteed. Yeah, you're right. I ain't caring about no green cards. They're going after these so-called criminals, but we got a criminal in the White House. But when you tell people that, they don't believe it. They'll push back to you. Man, we got a criminal as the president of the United States. He's convicted of 34 felonies, and they'll make it was corruption or whatever it was. Yeah, but these people are, how do you know who's an illegal alien, who's not, Brian Nichols? How would you know? And, it's the same thing that they used to do with me. That's the reason they ran up in my house. And that's the reason they stop and frisk so many black men. If you stop and frisk enough of them, you're going to find somebody with drugs and guns or whatever it is, okay? Or with a police record or something. But what about all the other people, the innocent people you stopped? You can't just look at a black man and tell me, oh, he's a drug dealer or not. Just like you can't look at somebody who you think is an illegal alien. You see a foreigner over there and you think, oh, how do you know if he's legal or not? Because he got a tattoo, that don't mean nothing. You probably got tattoos. This is the thinking that's clouding Americans over there. You don't have no special powers, dude. You can't look at anybody and say, oh, he's illegal or illegal. Even Trump doesn't know. They're sending legal people. They're deporting legal people, Brian Nichols. Come on, man. Y'all crazy. That's the problem. Yeah, they are, he's their hero. I'm sorry, I'm not going to put my life in the hands of any other man. I don't give a damn if he's the president or not. Certainly not some old guy, 79 years old. He can't take care of himself. He said, Calvin, I can't believe these guys get on the chat line and meet these ladies and start giving them money before the evening. Yeah, talk to them. You can't. It's 2025, man. This is one thing that I have to agree with. People say, man, it's been going on, forever. And there's nothing you can say that's going to stop people. And I got to agree with them now. I'm starting to believe that. There's nothing we can say because we're all going to do it. You're all going to do it. If you meet a woman online, you're going to send her some money. Now, are you going to send her 1.5? But you're going to send her something. You're going to send her something. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, when you talk about black on black crime, do they call when the mafia kills each other, do they call that white on white crime? Who came up with that black on black crime? That's normal, Kevin Strong. Okay, the victim and the perpetrator are usually in close proximity to each other. Guess who's killing Filipinos over here? Are they black men? No, Kevin Strong. You get on here with that stupid ass shit. It's Filipinos killing Filipinos. Chinese are killing Chinese. Japanese are killing Japanese. You know better. Okay? Y'all kill me with that bullshit, man. The victim and the perpetrator usually are in close proximity. Black men are not getting on planes, flying over here, killing Filipinos or Thai people or whatever. Okay? We're not doing anything no other race is doing. The majority of white people who get killed are killed by white folks, dude. Sorry. Crazy. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, if you listen, man, I don't know who you are. You a real person? Because you're not listening. I said, Shadur Sanders and Eli Manning are about the same to me. So no matter what you say, it's all subjective. Yeah, man, come on. He wasn't no generational talent. I tell you that. Yeah, but but here's the thing though, JG. This is what everybody's saying because you're not thinking for yourself. Tom Brady didn't come out of college, the way Shadur Sanders did. He didn't have all this. Tom Brady was really basically unknown. He didn't win the Johnny Unitas Award and all that stuff. Okay? Because people keep saying, well, it doesn't matter where you're picked. It doesn't matter when it comes to that money. It matters a great deal where you're picked. Because they say, well, if you're good, you're eventually going to get the money anyway. But yeah, how many hits you got to take and all that? I would have surely loved to win in as a top 3 pick and you guarantee me $10 million. Now you're going to give me a 4-year rookie contract for $4 million. And how much of that is guaranteed? Yeah, David Tyree. Go back and watch that. Keep on giving Eli Manning all that credit. That man made a superhuman catch. Y'all got selective memory. He said, I feel bad for Quinn Ewers. Like, if y'all think Shadua got ripped off, imagine Quinn slid almost as far and can't get 3 paragraphs on the topic. Yeah, but he wasn't a generational talent either. He wasn't talked about as going into the, top 3 picks. At one time, they was talking about Sanders going number 1. Quinn Ewers was never looked at as being number 1. Oh, okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm an old guy, man. You young guys, y'all, that talk goes over my head, brother. I'm sorry. I really am, man. I appreciate that. Well, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's what you think. You probably making single mom. Who you dating? Look at this. He can't even have a real. These are grown men out here, guys. By the way. Hey, what's up, Hayden? Thank you, man. Yeah, he had a hell of a team now, but you got to realize though. Look at the numbers Shadura put up and the team he was on. Look at the line that he was playing behind, and look at the team that yours had. Yeah, he said he had 2 MVPs, but I'm just saying, coming out of college, he was no threat to run the ball. He didn't have no rocket arm and all that stuff, guys. But his last name was Manning. They gave him a shot. Yeah, he was just a solid guy. He says he'll be in the Hall of Fame this year, Cal. You think so? I don't think he deserves it. I'm not hating on him, man. Y'all got the wrong conversation. The conversation started out, Mike, as Shadura Sanders coming out of college and Eli Manning coming out of college are about the same. Okay? Neither one is a generational talent, but they have that, they have it in their DNA. If you give Shadura Sanders a chance, man, you're going to see it's in him, just like it was in Manning. That's the conversation. I'm never hating on Eli Manning. Y'all got the wrong conversation going, okay? Yeah, he stepped in it. Yeah, he's in big trouble, man. He's in big trouble. He offered the woman $10 million. She didn't take it. Well, she's a damn fool. I'd have took that $10 million, And now, of course, when one woman comes out, and a lot of people are going to start coming out, he's got stuff in his past where he paid off people, and he's got another active sexual SA charge in the courts now. See? Yeah, well, hell, you don't have to be away from sport. This is all over the news. This is front page right here. Yeah, he dropped the bag. Yeah, he offered the lady $10 million, but she's stupid. She should have took that. Hey, George Wright, thanks for that super chat. He said, just like Emmitt Smith, he had people around him. If he had went to the Jets, you would have never heard of him. That's right. I mean, it just depends. But Emmitt Smith coming out of college was a generational talent, though. But you're right. Once you get to the pros, you're usually going to have some great people around you. I mean, even as bad as the Cleveland Browns line is, hell, Joe Flacco came in there and performed pretty damn good. What's the other guy that came from Florida State that was there for a little while? Jameis Winston. He did pretty damn good behind that old shaky line. Yeah, $10 million. He offered her $10 million to drop it and don't let it out, and she turned it down. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on to something else. I'm telling you that, in my opinion, no matter what you say, Michael Dorsonville, you'll never convince me that he was much better than Shedeur Sanders, because he wasn't. He said you have Dollar Tree stores. No, but they've got something like a 99 peso store. I saw one in Newport City, but I've seen them before. There was one. Well, we used to have one in San Carlos, but it closed down. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. They didn't really. They wasn't. Nobody was really gonna. That's what it was really all about. He said, how much is 99 pesos? Well, with the peso being at 55.9, let's just say it's less than $2. He said, hey, Calvin, did you know they have felony arrested warrant for Vitaly accomplished? He might do time too. Do they even know who that is? Do they know who that is? Do they have him on camera? I'm glad you brought this up, because the only reason I'm even going to talk about this is because I have to start agreeing with people when they said, oh, foreigners are going to come over there and they're going to mess the Philippines up, right? And I used to say, well, you can't change the Philippines, but you can change their perspective of us. You're not going to change the Philippine culture, but you can change the perspective against us. And that's what we're doing, guys. We're screwing up, man. And certainly, not only just Vitaly, but just foreigners fighting each other. When they filed those false charges against me 3 years ago. See, Filipinos, they're looking like, what's going on with these people? Can't they just come over here and, be on vacation and, just be decent people? No, we can't. We bring our culture over here. We bring the matrix over here. We disrespect the people. We waste their time. We look down on them. Yeah, you can't change the Philippines, but you can change their perspective of us. And that's what we're doing. We're screwing it up really bad. The Vitaly was just like the icing on the cake. It's the worst I've ever seen. Nothing comes close. I mean, I don't think he should get 20 years, but he needs to go to jail for what he did. Nobody deserves that. Just deporting him is not going to be enough. You do have to make an example out of him. Are you going to have other people coming over here doing that? But it's all kind of stuff we're doing, man. Coming over here and just all the stuff we do. While they're sitting there investigating the false allegations against me, that's time wasted. They could be out there really chasing the bad guys. See, Filipinos aren't doing that. These are foreigners doing that. Okay? Yeah, so I'm glad you brought this up 8,000 miles away, because, yeah, we're gonna cut our own throats over here, man. Pretty soon, we're not going to be able to go anywhere. And then you add Trump to the mix, too. People are getting sick of Americans, man. We done played out, man. We done played out, guys. It's time to be humble. It's time to, shut the fuck up and mind your own business, guys. Okay? Coming over here thinking y'all this and all that, and think you can get away with everything, and you running the show and all that. It's time to take a step back. Because pretty soon, man, they ain't going to roll out the red carpet anymore. I'm going to tell you, I felt it, when I was walking. I don't put the camera in nobody's face. I don't interview anybody. I don't, I just don't do that. But when I had that camera in Newport, man, people was looking at me like I've never been looked at like that before. You know, it's like to say, all right, here comes damn, here comes one of them damn vloggers. All the good we do is shot down, you know, by a few, you know, bad apples, man. They don't ever talk about the good we do. I did one video about all the good we do. But people don't want to hear that. They just want to hear the bad stuff. I mean, you can imagine bloggers are responsible for billions and billions of pesos worth of tourism to this country, believe it or not. They don't want to hear that, though. Imagine they found false charges me of human trafficking. But the charges are so bad that Filipino authorities, they have to investigate it. They can't just say, okay, but these are foreigners doing this. These aren't Filipinos. You don't see Filipinos going around grabbing the police hat. I mean, you know, the security guard hat, running up on the motorcycle and all this stupid shit. I stand there with a microphone asking Filipinos, oh, do you do this and do you do that in bed and all that stuff? It's foreigners doing that. So yeah, we are screwing it up over here for us. Yeah, he says, Shannon Sharp has text and the chicken has a video of them. They both was talking nasty stuff to each other. This case will be harder to prove. You know, I don't knock the man for the age gap and all that, but I do knock him for his selection of women. You got to be more discreet, man. You got to know who you are. You're Shannon Sharp now. You got $100 million contract that you're negotiating, and you're dealing with just some simple OnlyFans woman that you met at the gym. Come on. You know. Well, I don't want to hear that, okay? Okay, I don't want to hear that. Show me the facts, Tommy, because the point is, something like 82 or 83%, the facts of the matter is this, Tommy. When white people are murdered, more than likely it's another white person murdering them. But they don't call it white on white crime. Okay, they don't call it Filipino on Filipino crime. They only call it black on black crime as to justify the inhumane treatment that blacks have been under in America since America was established. Okay, those are the facts. Okay, so you can justify it all you want. If you want to feel guilty about it, I'm sorry. I'm not going to shut up. Those are the facts. And it's still happening to the day. Okay? Yeah, he fumbled the bag. Really bad. Yeah, I went in there. We went in there and we didn't gamble. I just wanted to show Maryland. It's really a nice casino. It's big too. It's got table games and everything. You know, for you to say, let me go back to this clown. Black people, black men have never, we don't have any atomic weapons, Tommy. We've never dropped atomic weapons on another human being. Okay? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. If you think that we're as bad as what you're saying we are, yeah, you don't know your history, dude. Okay? We're just going to go on to something else. Yeah, they do that. You know, they do that, and that's weak right there. That's weak right there. I've got over 2,800 videos. You can not one video is made about another vlogger or anything like that. I don't have to do that. Okay? They don't realize that wasn't Hitler a white man, or what? Am I mistaken? Hitler was white, wasn't he? Wasn't Stalin white? Okay. What's the guy who killed all them Africans over there from, was he from the Netherlands or Belgium or where was he from? You guys don't know history, man. But yeah, I ignore stuff like this. Well, you know, at one time he was real popular, but that old prank stuff that went off, man, it went the way of the dinosaurs. Nobody likes to see that stuff anymore. It's too cringy. It's not even entertainment anymore. You know, he should have took that money and went and did something else with it. He had millions of dollars, man. They made a movie about him. He was really popular then. Back in what? 2010 to like 2015 or something like that. Yeah. But he's an American, though, Danny. They're going to send him back to America. Yeah, something's going on. But see, here's the thing. How in the world did he even beat that case where he attacked the woman blogger? This is what I don't understand. He assaulted a woman blogger. But I think the cringiest thing he did here in the Philippines when he ran up on that older lady talking about, I'm going to rob you. And then he says, oh, I'm going to give you some money. I mean, he scared the lady, you know, shitless, basically. You could see the look on her face. He runs up to her, talking, yeah, give me all your money or whatever it was. I mean, yeah, he's got to pay a price for all the foolishness he did. Yeah, but the only reason he didn't get drafted, Roderick Lee, is because they knew he didn't want to play in the NFL. If Charlie Ward would have said, I'm going to the NFL, he'd have been the number one pick probably. But he made it known long ago. I'm not coming to the NFL. I'm going to the NBA. That's why. That's why he didn't get drafted. It wasn't because of his talent or anything like that. Yeah, it is over the top. And imagine how many people you have to stop on the street before somebody agrees to even let you interview them. This is the Philippines, man. People, they're either coming from somewhere or going somewhere. They're very busy. Okay, they're very, bashful. And you're sitting out there just basically, harassing them, really. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen these vloggers do it. Me and Maryland, we were in Cebu, and one of the vloggers, he just stays, camped out in the malls, waiting to pounce on you, to inconvenience you. Like, dude, I didn't come over here for that. If you got my email or whatever, do something like that. Hey, let me talk to you about this and that. Yeah, we're way over the top. Yeah, it is to push a narrative when black men aren't so violent that we're getting on the planes coming over here killing Filipinos. That's for sure. He said, what casino? I believe this New World it's called the New World Casino. It's not Newport. It's called the New World or Newport World. I'm thinking it's the radio. What that used to be what was it? What did that used to be? I believe it used to be, is this the same place where the guy killed all the people? They just changed the name. Is that same casino here in the Philippines? Remember the guy he went in there to rob the casino, took all the chips and stuff, and then he set the hotel on fire. Resorts World, is this the same casino that they just changed the name? Because it's starting to look familiar to me. The more I hung around there, I was like, seems like I've been here before. Is that the same place, guys? Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get rid of him. He's not. He doesn't have anything else to do. But you got Brian Nichols. He's in here agreeing with him, knowing good and well that if his ass gets killed, if he's white, there's going to be a white person that's going to kill him. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Black people don't bother you. Yeah, he says, how many black Timothy McVeighs are there? A black Dylan Ross. Miss me with that bullshit. Yeah. Then you got this Kevin Strong. After that dude, you're going to keep it up, man. I'm going to get rid of you because I think you a troll. 10 times more likely to kill a white. I don't even bother white folks. Hey, thanks, man. Well, I'm sorry, but this is the real world, man. You can't just say, "Oh, we need to stop worrying about that." You that's just how it is. We didn't create that. See, the sick thing about it, Darren, is you had no more control over the color of your skin, the family you were born into, the country you were born into, the fact that you're here, anything. So that's what's so sick about it. Then to take that and try to use it to your advantage or to put somebody else down. See, that's the mental health problem that I be talking about. Okay? Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all just people, but you live in the real world, Darren. I'm sorry. Okay? We were created equal, but we're not born equal. Okay? Okay, yeah, it was called. Thanks for that super chat, Dank Magician Guy. He said, what casino did you go to? I work at a casino in the U.S. It's called the New World Casino. I believe it's the same casino that Resorts World, because one of the streets is called Resorts Drive over here. And the more I look at that place, I'm like, man, this place looks familiar. I'm thinking it's where that guy killed those people. I'm almost sure it is now. There was a guy who robbed the casino and set the hotel on fire. And a lot of people got killed. Somebody Google that real quick. Yeah, Leopold. But history don't mean nothing to them. But you only get involved with ignorant people when you start talking this stuff. But I push back. I don't allow that on my channel without me pushing back. It's just a bunch of rhetoric. Like I said, we know who dropped those atomic bombs. Okay? We know who did that. And I don't have to argue with anybody about that. Is that all he's got is a green card? Absolutely. That's why they come after me the way they do. No other vlog over here goes through the shit I go through, man. I don't mind trolls and stuff, but these people stalk me. They filed false allegations against me. See, that's going too far. That's what I'm the only one that puts up with that stuff. Okay? And I'm probably the least that should be going through all of that. as much as I help people and everything like that. But it's just who I am. But I'm not gonna stop being who I am. Okay. Yeah, I'm not supposed to know anything, you know. But that's why they do that. Imagine what would be your incentive to try to have me banned? They were trying to get me banned from the Philippines. I'm like, no, what's that all about? Let me ask y'all something. Am I all that for people to fuss over like that? That you want to go to the authorities and tell them to ban me from the Philippines? Come on, man. It's crazy. Hey, thank you, man. We was talking about this yesterday. And the crazy thing about it was just so sudden. It was the suddenness of it. You know, when I had a brother get killed, and my mother never recovered because he left the house and he never came back. He died. You know, my mother saw him and he died that same day. It was suddenly. There was no, you know, they didn't give any advance notice or anything. And that's what it was with this young lady. You know, Maryland, they was hanging out the whole day. They were just in Bacala just to support another friend who was in a bodybuilding competition. They got off the elevator. Merlin went back to her condo because Booby and Seville was there. They went out to get something to eat. Merlin said the minute she opened up the door, her phone started blowing up. The girl got hit just that quick. So it's going to take a while for them to get over that. Oh, yeah, they got plenty of stuff. He said, I heard from vloggers that it's hard to get help when something breaks down in the house. Well, which vloggers you talking to? Man, there's so many guys over here. I think the reason that I get along so well in the Philippines, it reminds me of when I was growing up. There's so many handymen over here. Okay, we used to call it ninja rig. We could ninja rig any damn thing. And they do the same thing over here, but it's a lot of people who are in construction. It's not hard to find nobody over here. But to answer your question, is there like a Home Depot or Lowe's in the Philippines? Yeah, but they've got a lot of different places. Like, where do we get out? They got so many hardware stores. Okay, my whole house was built from them little stores, getting supplies from stores like that. But they got like City Hardware, which would be like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. Yeah, but whenever something goes wrong, we need a pipe or anything, we got one. It's called what's it called? E-Highway. What's it called? E-Hardware. And then we got another on the corner within walking distance. Yeah, Resort World. Is that he said that's it. I believe it's it. I believe that's it. I believe that's the same place. They just changed the name because a lot of people died in that fire, man. They couldn't get out. They suffocated. He barricaded himself in and set a fire. Hey, Mopar, thanks for that super chat. He said, I saw the Newport video and looked nice there. I stayed in BGC for a month. I'm going back in August to stay a month or so. I'm going to look for a spot in Newport. Thanks for sharing that place with us. Yeah, you're welcome. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to like that area, man, because it's crazy. You come, okay, right around there, okay, you got Terminal 3 on one side, but then on the other side, you just got the regular barangay. But once you come inside of that Newport, that's why they call it a bubble city. It's like you don't even see anything else. You don't notice anything else but all this fancy stuff. New condominiums and stuff, nice cars and stuff. But yeah, you'll like it. The only reason I left because where I was, the signal was just so bad, man. I couldn't deal with it. I need a signal, man. Oh, okay. TJ said Resorts World and Newport World are two different places that are fairly far from one another. Okay, but I know that Resorts World was by the airport too at one time. But maybe it's by a different terminal. But you remember what I'm talking about, TJ, when that happened. Okay, Philip Cooper, what's up? He said, we got Wilcon up by you, got plenty in Luzon. Them in city are the best. Yeah, Ace isn't bad either. Yeah, we got a lot of places and a lot of people. And so for him to say that he saw other vloggers, like he heard other vloggers say it's hard to get something fixed. Well, maybe that's their, I can't knock that. Maybe that's their experience, but that's not my experience. For one thing, Maryland's brother's he would be considered a master carpenter in America. But we've never had a problem. Even before we built that house and we were living in Margarita Village, the landlord had a team of maintenance people. Anything go wrong. And so when the guy came over there and we moved, we even started hiring him. The guy who cleans our air conditions now, we met him through the landlord in Margarita Village. So no, I've never had it hard finding somebody. He said, Cal, what bothers me is you're just speaking your opinion, your truth, and it bothers those people who hate their life. It's sad. Keep doing your thing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they just go too far. I mean, everybody's going to have trolls. The bigger you grow, more people are going to like you, the more people are going to not like you. But okay, if you don't like somebody, just keep scrolling. Why fabricate charges like that? Okay, they're unsubstantiated. You're not going to come forward. You don't have any evidence. There's fake. Why even waste your time doing that? That's called harassment. Yeah, Kaz is lucky on that stuff like that. But see, when I went to the casino in Cebu long time ago, all it was these little, there was no workers in there. There were no table games. They were just these machines, these little computerized slot machines. This was a real casino. You can play blackjack, craps, what's that one? Baccarat, everything, roulette. And, they had all the, entertainment and stuff. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That you even have the Sky Bridge, man. They're a lot alike, man. Because I'm thinking to myself, I stayed in by Resorts World. I want to say it was 2016. It was right there by the airport. It was right there. Now that I'm thinking about it, because when James Mack and his wife were dropping us off yesterday, I'm like, wow, this looks familiar. Where do I know this place from? And then they turned up in there. I'm like, well, hell, maybe this is Resorts World, but I don't know. They just look alike, though. Yeah, they got, this one had live craps. This had everything, TJ. When you walk in the casino, because, they got all this state of the art. This is stuff we don't even have in America. When you come into any of them buildings down on that end where the swanky stuff is, you got to put your feet. They got some footprints. You put your feet there, and then you got to look at the camera, and they take your picture before you go in. And then once you're in there, and then you go in the casino, they do it again. As soon as you come in the casino, you got like a stage with the the instruments and stuff where the band is going to be. And it's a big circle. And it expands out this way. It's got all kinds of games. And I mean, they got games all over in the darkest corners. But yeah, they got the real craps, because when me and Steven, he's from Florida, when we went 2 days ago, he's the one who took me there. They were actually playing craps. And the minimum bet is 300 pesos, and the max bet is 10,000 pesos, which is, I guess, remember, we're in the Philippines, so that would be big. But hell, in America, when I used to go to Caesars and places like that, it was $10,000. Like $5 would be the minimum bet, or sometimes they would open up a $10 table as a minimum bet. But the max bet would either be 5,000 or 10,000. But over here, it's 300 pesos minimum, 10,000 max on the craps. Yeah. But you can go. I used to have a neighbor in 2010, 2011, when Pacquiao was still on his rampage, and he was gambling and womanizing and everything. He used to be in Cebu all the time. My next door neighbor used to come back with pictures of him and Pacquiao. They'd be at the same poker table together in the waterfront. Hey, what's up, man? Melbourne, Australia. He said, Filipinos can fix and build anything for real cheap. Yeah, I don't know where that guy was talking about. It's hard to find somebody. I don't care what I need done. I can get it. I can find somebody quick and in a hurry. Yeah, but haters is one thing though. It's another, man, when you looking, you got to answer to the authorities over here, man, on some crazy charges like that. Like when I was coming back from Thailand, and this is all women now. You talking about women, and the top immigration lady at that time 3 years ago was a woman. The people investigating me were women, and I've got exploiting Filipino women and human trafficking. Man, it's just the embarrassment. And then you have to go to NBI, and you're sitting around these people, and you got to explain yourself. It's no cause for that. Yeah, I don't mind that, Raymond, but they've gone beyond hating on me. It's beyond something else. And then they bring my family into it. See, it's a lot of guys that they've crossed the line, that I'll never forgive them. And they know who they are. They put my kids on their thumbnails. They talked about them in their videos. See, they've crossed that line, but then there's others that go even further. They'll anonymously send some bullshit to the authorities. See, that's foolishness, man. I mean, that's weak right there. Yeah, he said, yeah. No, they call it a casino. They actually call it a casino, Eric. But it's right there by Fuente Circle. It's still open. It's called Casino Filipino, right? And that's what it's called. And you go in there, it's just a bunch of, just slot machines. It's nothing. They even got them in Bacolod like that. At the hotel we stay in, El Fisher, they got one. But this was a full-fledged casino. It wasn't, see, the Caesars over in Indiana, it's got like 3 or 4 stories. This one was just one story, but it was big. It had everything in there. Yeah, Newport World Resorts. Yeah, see, I'm thinking that's the same place, man. I don't know. Yeah, they have live craps, TJ. Yeah, I don't know since when, but I seen it with my own eyes. the guy Steven, he's from Florida. He took me. I never knew the mall was even back there. He saw my video I did. He said, "Hey, let me take you out to lunch. I'm up here at the Holiday Inn." And we met, and we went there. I was blown away. I was like, "Wow, I didn't know all this was back here." And he said, when we walked in the mall, he said, "There's a casino." He said, "Let me show it to you." And we walked around it. And as soon as you come in, it's a big circle, and you make that right turn, there's the crap table right there. And they're shooting dice. Every game in there. Oh, okay. See, he said it's the same thing, TJ. I'm telling you, look familiar, man, to me. He said, no, I don't know if they've got, that's the Waterfront Hotel. The Waterfront Hotel and Casino is in, it's over there across from IT Park. He says, Cal, I visited Cebu a handful of times, and every once in a while I would get a few subtle mean mugs from local jealous-looking dudes when I'm out on a date. Has that been your experience as well? Well, we were talking about this the other day. Well, I was talking about this on my video the other day, where I said, one of the first pieces of advice that I received about coming to the Philippines before I'd ever been. There's another chat room, the guy says, "Hey, when you're with these women, don't flaunt it. Just be humble. Don't flaunt it because, don't try to make these men look, bad or whatever, because this is their daughters, their sisters, and whatever." And I see guys doing it all the time. I've never got that look. They look at you, but I've never gotten a mean mug. But they're going to stare. But if you flaunt it, yeah, you're going to get that mean mug, It's like, be humble, man. Act like you've been there before. Act like you've had a nice looking woman before. Show her some respect. Show the people some respect. That's what, I would suggest you do. It was great advice, man, because I see it. I was at the airport when I arrived in the Philippines. And here comes this guy. He's just walking around. Got a beautiful, young, attractive woman with him. She's dressed up real nice. And he's just walking around like he owned the place. And the people really were mean mugging him. Like, look at this clown. Because I'm going to be honest with you. This makes a lot of sense, too. A lot of times, yeah, I don't look at them in the eye either. Now, if I'm by myself and I'm going somewhere and I'm worried about whether or not, which I'm never worried about somebody bothering me, I acknowledge them. But yeah, a lot of times when I'm with Maryland, I don't even look at them. I don't even give them eye contact. But the only time you're going to get that is if you're older and the lady's really young, or you're flaunting it. With all that PDA and stuff like that. See, they don't really play that stuff here. What about him? Like I said, people like him don't bother me. That's nothing. He doesn't file false charges against me. He just makes videos to try to get clicks and stuff like that. That's all he does. But these are guys who are, they're not vloggers. We don't know who they are. Because that's what the guy asked me. He was like, "Well, who are they?" I said, "Well, how would I know who they are?" See, these are the people whose name was on the charges I had. Corey Feldman and Charlie Chalmain. Okay. We don't know who that is. And at the time, I was like, well, don't I even get a chance to confront my accusers? So the NBI guy, he was so nice. He said, "Look, Cal, here's what I want you to do." He told me what to do. I had to go out and get a lawyer. I did everything he told me to do. He said, now you won't have any problems. You're in the system now. Because they tried it before, they'll try it again. Because he said, as long as you got that channel, he said they can do it over and over. They don't even have to come forward. But now you got protection. So I don't even worry about it anymore. Yeah, but what we're talking about, that location. I believe that location where Resorts World used to be, I believe that is Newport World Resorts. Because you're saying they moved, right? He said, Cal was going to text you about Newport Mall, but it was 12:30 a.m. and I thought you might be KO'd already. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know all that was back there. I wish I'd have known, but hell, I don't got the money to buy anything out of a place like that. That's not a regular mall, TJ. That's something for like tourists. Hey, I'll be down. I'm gonna pay $500 in the Philippines for a pair of sunglasses, Versace sunglasses. He said, Cal, Cornelius Mack, he's been here like 3.5 years. I think 2.5 years he's been in Manila. He said, Cal, Manila has 20 casinos, and most of them are in close proximity around NCR, and most of them are world class. I know, because the more I thought about it, I said, because I'm thinking to myself, well, who are they building these casinos for? And it hit me, and Japanese, Chinese, man, they're big time gamblers. When I went to Vegas in 2006, it was at that time I didn't know the difference between the Japanese, Chinese, Korean, or whatever. But this guy was at the crap table, man. He had a stack of hundreds. I mean, he had so many $100 bills I'd never seen before. And then when we left and we were crossing the street, I think we were going to the what's it called? The Bellagio or whatever it is. But we were in the Paris. And we crossed the street and we saw a big tour bus. It was just full of Japanese. Yeah, they're spending big money. But yeah, that casino Filipino. That's not a real casino to me, but it is. They win big money. But when I think of a casino, I think the whole 9 yards, the table games, because that's how they make the money on the slot machines. The odds of you winning the slot machine, the house has the highest odds. You're talking about 93%. He says if you don't need the money because you're saving heavily, would you ask the job to give you 2 or 3 months off per year without pay to travel? How soon after starting the job would you ask? Yeah, you would have to get in there, man, and prove yourself first. And then I don't know, depending on what type of job. What do you mean, to take a leave of absence? If you were working like a factory job or something like that, man, they replace you in a heartbeat. If that's the case, hell, I would just quit. And then I don't know if any job in America is going to give you 2 to 3 months off every year. Honestly, the best thing for you to do winning with Isaac would be to get a remote job. It's a lot of guys that are traveling now all over the world, men and women, with these, they call them digital nomads, man. I met so many. I mean, it's too many to count. They're living over here and they're working from over here. They're working from the Philippines. They're not working in the Philippines. There are companies outside the Philippines, the banks outside the Philippines. That would be what you would probably want to do. Because I don't see any job uh, that's going to give you 2 to 3 months off at a time like that. He said, man, I love the Philippines too. Probably not as much as Cal, but I ain't never been to such a place where they have the nosiest people I've ever seen. Like, damn, I try to be low key with my stuff. Yeah, you know, but I told you I was watching a video. I wish I could find that video. They were talking to an African guy. He's like, a lot of places don't like tourists. He said, because we indulge on them, on their lifestyles and stuff like that. They got to change and be somebody else. Most of the time, we force them to speak English. They don't want to be observed. You know, they just don't want to be bothered, really. Not the people. Okay, now, of course, the governments, because, you know, they got a tourism department. But he made a lot of sense, man. You know, that's why I tried. I made a video when me and Marilyn, we were staying in the Solanea. Stay on the outside, really. I'm on the inside now, just barely. I don't drive, but I've got a Filipino girlfriend. So that brings me a little bit on the inside. But most of the time, I try to remain on the outside. I try to not bother them in the slightest bit as I possibly can. You know, I don't try to, interfere in their day-to-day life or anything like that, you know. But I learned that a long time ago. That's why I don't drive, obviously don't work here. I try to do as little as I can to remain on the outside. I don't want to cause anybody any problems over here at all. So when people stare at you, it's because, you're new. You're in their space. And we do the same thing. If you around people that are new, but when you're around the same people over and over, you're not going to be nosy. You already know everything it is to know about the people. But if you on your job and there's a new person comes to work, you're going to be nosy. He says, my questions are Americans, but are there libraries I can take books out or movies for free? I'm not sure, but I know there's libraries here. America has probably the greatest, if not the greatest, library system in the world, probably because of Andrew Carnegie and all them endowments and everything. He left all that money. Now, I don't know if you can go anywhere and find a library system like America's. That was one of the first things I did when I went home was got my library card. I missed that more than anything. Library, parks, Walmart. But there are some libraries here. But I just don't know if they set up like they are in America, man. We take that stuff for granted, guys. We take it for granted. We take a lot of stuff for granted. Hey, thanks, Winning with Isaac, for that super chat. He said, thanks, Cal. I love your content. Keep going. I need to find a remote job or a job with sabbaticals. Yeah, it would be, you seem like a young guy, man. It shouldn't be hard. There's so many guys over here. I wanted to see a lot of people, and I really can't blame them here anymore. A lot of people just don't want to be bothered. They want to come over here. See, they know when you come on these channels, people are going to recognize you. They're going to bother you. And they're like, it's okay. Because I wanted to bring a couple of these young guys on to, kind of steer you in the right direction on how to find a remote job. But I don't blame them, man. People are sick, man, especially when you over in Southeast Asia. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know what it is. You got to ask them. But they're really ignorant. And people don't want that. They're like, I didn't come over here for that. Because I used to get on them. I was like, come on, man. Come online. Share your story. Shit. After what they put me through, man, I don't blame you. Yeah, man. Man, Louisville's got some of the greatest libraries. I'm talking about just Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. See, TJ would be a great person to talk to about this. Uh, but there's so many people over in their cars. I had a friend. He was in Bahal, but now he got his 100% VA, so he quit his job. He was doing some type of survey work for the company in America. He was earning like $2,000 a month, which is plenty of money to live over here in Bahal. But once he got that 100% with VA, he quit. No, I met Marilyn online. I don't think I've ever met a woman uh, just face to face like that. You know, listen, guys, most guys that come over here, they're meeting them online. There's a way that you meet women online, okay? When you sign up for these dating sites, man, you're going to get inundated with requests. Those aren't real women you want to deal with. Filipinos don't act that way. You get in there, you set your filter wherever you are. You take a little bit more control of your search. Don't let them, you're always going to be in their search because their search is 18 to 80. But you're going to define your search a little bit more. Your search may be 18 to 30. And it's maybe, if you're in Cebu, you're going to put 50 kilometers from Cebu. And you may put, oh, she's got to be a Baptist or whatever it is. You hit that filter. Then they're going to start coming up. You're going to get less and less women. It's going to be more defined. Then you look on there for regular looking Filipino women. Y'all watching the wrong videos where everybody's going for these 10s and 15s, which more than likely, even if they're real, you're going to have 1,000 men chasing her. So now her head's blown up. Just get regular looking women. They're going to look a whole lot better in person. You send out 10 messages to them. Make sure they're online. Maybe they haven't been online for 24 to 48 hours because Filipinos don't just sit on these dating sites waiting for you. Those are the scammers. Marilyn was probably at work. It took like 2 or 3 days before Marilyn to ever respond to me. And that's when you know you got a real one. She's probably at work, probably at school, probably somewhere trying to make something happen to put food on the table and find a job or whatever it is. She's not on a dating site. You get on there, when you sign in and some woman's already on there, the green light, you ignore all of them. You send out 10 messages. Hey, I like you. I want to meet you. And you wait for those 10 to come back. Nobody else. Because Filipinos, they're not going to, even online, they're not going to be the one to make the first move, man. That's just been my experience. And that's how I find my women. Okay? I've never met a bad woman online. That's where they are. Okay? Now, can you meet a woman over here in a place like Manila? Absolutely. There's millions of women. But at least when you meet online, you can kind of vet her. But there's good women online. That's where we meet them. Most of the people who are on here, that's how they met their woman. There's some men on here, they met their Filipino wife or girlfriend in America. And she's already been through the dating site process. So, that's not even like coming right over here, meeting a woman. Because even if you meet a woman over here and she's comfortable talking to you and you get her number, 9 times out of 10, she's going to have a profile on one of those dating sites. Okay? I'm just telling you. That's where the good women are. Those are the ones where you know they want to meet you. Okay? They made it up in their mind. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, TJ. That they want to meet somebody. I mean, these guys who's coming over here talking about, oh yeah, I met my woman at the mall, whatever it is. I wouldn't doubt it, but they're the exception, man. You know, that's another thing the guy told me when I came over here. The same guy who said don't flaunt it. He said the first thing he said was, yeah, you may want to get on one of the dating sites and meet a woman first before you go to the Philippines. I never even heard of a dating site in 2009. I was 45 years old, getting ready to turn 46. I never even knew about online dating, even in America. And I'm like, man, where am I supposed to meet these women? And so, you know, I Googled it and it came up. Cebuanas.com is the one I used. And, you know, I paid the whatever it was, $14.99, whatever it was. And when I first got on there, I did meet a scammer because the woman, the minute I start talking to her, she's like, yeah, send me $20 and I'll get naked for you. And I'm like, what? And, you know, because I'm new to the dating site, I don't know. So I had to learn on my own, man. Yeah, they do leave you alone. I met a Filipino. He had come from Australia. He had been over in Australia for 38 years, and he came back, and he said, "Yeah, I know you like it over here because Filipinos will leave." This is his exact words. He said, "Because Filipinos will leave you alone and let you enjoy your retirement." He said that. I already knew it. This is a Filipino. He was an OFW in Australia for 38 years. I already knew it. See, people, they act like the infrastructure is more important than the people. Well, not in my opinion. They just gloss right over that like that don't mean anything. The warm and welcoming people, you know, that say, okay, we really don't mind you being over here. See, I can deal with everything else. I don't want to be somewhere where oh, it's so fancy and nice and everything. Excuse me, but I'm not welcome. Are they giving me the side eye everywhere I go? Over here in the Philippines, man, they literally roll out the red carpet for you, man. They're really the remember the African said, most people don't want you over here. Really, the Filipinos are the what they call it? What's the thing that the unicorn, man? When it comes to that, I like that more than anything about them. You know, they really leave you alone and let you enjoy yourself. Yeah, let me go back to Passport, Mr. Passport King. You back in America, Mr. Passport King? Because he knows I'm telling the truth. You got to filter, man. You got to take a little bit more because otherwise, man, because some guy says, oh, man, I got all these old women in my, you know, in my feed. I say, yeah, use the filter, man. Otherwise, you're going to have them all in there. Now, you're going to always be in their feed because they're 18 to 80. So a woman 60 may contact you because you're coming up on her feed, but she'll never come up on yours. And then you'll never get a woman, if you're in Cebu, you'll never get a woman coming from Manila on your feed because you put the filter in there. You got to use that filter, man. You might even put in there no children. You can do that. But he says, yeah, don't message a woman with a pic of her on a boat, an expensive hotel wearing designer clothes. Yeah, or in a hotel, or on a beach with a bikini and all that, because you're like, well, who's taking these pictures? And they look too comfortable where they are. You know there's something behind that. See, some guys, they don't care. Me and Merle was talking about this at breakfast today. Some guys don't care that the woman that they're with has been with several other men, several other foreigners. They don't care. I care. That makes a big difference to me. I don't want that. You know. And you say, well, Cal, it's being hypocritical because you've been with other women. Yeah, but it's a different situation. Our situations are different. It's totally different. But some guys don't care. You know, some guys don't care, but I care. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to take a woman somewhere and say, oh, I've been here before. And all that. I don't want to go to push the button and she said, oh, it's been pushed before. And all that stuff. No, I don't want that. See? And you'll know if she's not proud of you, if she's not taking you around and showing you off, and you can see the look in her face, then you know she's probably been with somebody before. Yeah, and see, he said, listen, these are words of wisdom. This is exactly what he told me on our call, and this is exactly how it worked for me. Yeah, see, what we'll do, guys, man, as soon as I signed up for the dating site, I got 300 requests. Yeah, ain't none of them going to add up to nothing. Okay? You're going to end up sending a 1.5 million to the woman. She's not real. She's a scammer. I know women, man, personally. I know them. That's all they do is stay on the dating sites. They got 4 or 5 different ones waiting for you to get on there. The green light is always on. That's like their job. They'll do it 2 or 3 hours a day, waiting for you to come on there, and then they'll send you a message and all of that. And if you got 3 or 4 guys sending you 100, 150, 1,000, 1,500 pesos a day, man, that's a lot of money. You talking about 5,000, 6,000 pesos a day? Yeah, the Yummy 6 is real. It's just like the guy said. He said up here, he says, this is exactly what happens right here. What this guy's talking about right here. Right here. He said, I got me a solid 7 that loves me like nothing I've ever experienced. That's usually what you're going to get. A Yummy 6 is probably going to be the best thing that you've ever had in your whole entire life. I know it's been mad. I don't have to have a 10 or 15 because she's going to be a 10 or 15 to me anyway. We got to be realistic, man. You're not dealing with that over there like that. Okay? But you're looking at these videos and stuff and you seeing what somebody else got. I don't want what nobody else has. I want what I want. You got to be true to yourself. So you meet the girl and you're like, damn, you're blown away. See, when I met Marilyn, okay, we met in Dumaguete. We went to Siquijor, right? And she's flying on the motorcycle. We really didn't get along, okay? But she was nice looking because, we went to the mall and I bought her some shorts and I said, well, let me see them. She wanted my opinion. And she walked out of there. I was like, wow. I didn't see that when she, I met at the bus station. Well, it was only when we got back to San Carlos City and she could really let her hair down and become Marilyn. And I could kind of go around her friends and everybody, her family and stuff, and kind of let it soak in. Did it start clicking? And she was more comfortable putting on certain clothes and stuff like this. And I was like, wow, she looks 10 times better than when I first met her. And it just happened from that. It's a Yummy 6, dude, Well, a lot of times, believe it or not, and this may sound funny, but it's not. After y'all chatted for a while, you're going to be able to see. Look at me. Look how much you can see of me. You're going to be able to see that much of her. And then you might say, hey, can you stand up? Or you might just tell her, what you like. I like a tall woman. Are you tall? And then as you really start getting close, you might say, hey, let me see something. Believe it or not. Okay? And because once she knows that, okay, this guy's legitimate, he's coming, they might do peekaboo with you. It's not You're grown, remember, guys. This isn't something crazy. You're talking about two consenting adults. You know, once you start chatting and you start feeling comfortable with each other and you say, okay, I'm coming next week or whatever it is, you know, let me see something. They might let you see something. They might, you know, come out in a bikini or whatever it is. But more than likely, you're going to see her pictures. She's going to have pictures on her. You know, don't deal with a woman that's only got one picture. She's hiding something. You know. Yeah, see? You're going to see that. She's got to have multiple pictures. Merlin was on a horse, and I saw her legs. I was like, wow, look at these legs woman's got on her. So I didn't really have to do any crazy stuff like that. But when we went to Robinson and she tried on those shorts, you know, I'm a man. You know, it's not like, oh, you're weird or something like that. No, I like what I like. They know what you like, too. But it wasn't until we came to St. Carlos City and she was at home. She was comfortable. And she came out in these shorts, man. I was like, oh, it's over. Yeah, he said video chat's a requirement. Oh, okay, yeah, you're still in America. Yeah, well, hell, that's next month. He says, I tell you what, Cal, 80%. Yeah, that's because you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. Okay? Those are the ones who are contacting you. As soon as you sign up, you don't have any filters intact. Okay? You haven't contacted 10 regular-looking Filipinos, and you're just waiting for a response from those 10. Nobody else. You're not doing any of that. Because the typical Filipino is not going to ask you for any money. Okay? She knows she doesn't have to. These are smart women. The majority of the women we deal with, man, they have college educations, a lot of them do. Certainly high school. They're not stupid. They know the reputation that Filipinos have, whether it's real or fake. They know that they've got a reputation as gold diggers. So they're not going to ask you for money. They're going to run you off. Certainly if they see you a decent man. But she also knows she doesn't have to. She knows that she's got this charm that you're going to send money anyway. Okay, Merlin's never asked me for 1 peso. We've been together 6 years. I can't remember her ever asking me for not 1 peso. I'm sorry. They just don't do it. So you're not meeting the right women. You're just signing up for the dating site, letting them contact you. They're coming from all over. Okay? Man, you better set you up some filters and stuff like that. You know, they're not even going to ask you for this. The typical Filipino is not going to do it, man. She's not going to do it. I'm telling you, every woman that I've ever dealt with over here, a lot of times they're going to have a job, okay? But the thing is, they're not going to ask you, man. They're going to be afraid to ask you, even for 100 pesos, because they know what you're going to start thinking. But he said a lot of girls be asking money for phone load and food, knowing damn well they're asking 15 men, because y'all dealing with the wrong women. Do what I ask you to do, and I guarantee you the woman won't ask you for nothing. You know, because there's something called an unspoken agreement. They all know about it. It's not something I made up. The guy Mike, he called it that, but it's not something he made up. But it's just the correct way of saying it, you know, without saying it. Okay, I already know what I'm responsible for. You already know what you're responsible for. A smart Filipino is not going to ask you for nothing, because she knows that you're going to eventually spend. Okay, because you got to spend to see her. You got to buy that plane ticket. You got to ride the plane for 20 hours. You got to pay for the Airbnb or the hotel, the restaurant. She's smart enough to know if you get over here, she knows you got some kind of money, you can help her. He said a new profile will get blown up. Yeah. It's just the way they're gonna do it. You gotta ignore all that though. See, nobody told me that, so I spent a lot of time dealing with this junk until I figured it out. Like, okay, let me try something. And some of them are fake. So all you got to do, okay, now I met Merlin on Filipino Cupid. Now on Filipino Cupid, they'll tell you when the last time the woman was online. Okay, that's the good thing about Filipino Cupid. It'll say something like, haven't been seen in 48 hours. See, those are the ones you want to deal with. Because there's no telling where she is. She's probably, either she's already met somebody and is never coming back, or she's coming back and forth checking her profile to see if anybody's contact. They don't have the money, man, to waste their load on them damn dating sites. So you do that, and next thing you know, you're going to meet a good one. This is a good thing, Most of the time, this is how you know you got a real woman. If it's in a South, a Jollibee or something like that. You get a woman and she's talking about take me to TGI Friday or what's the other one? Abaca Bake Shop or something like that. See, this is a good point right here because this is how you know you got a real one. But we got to give them a little bit more credit than what we give them. You got to be a little bit more, have a little bit more self-restraint. You can't fall in love with the first pretty face and all of that. I wouldn't get online until I already got my ticket. See, I'm already got my ticket. I already know when I'm coming. And then I'm only gonna get online maybe 1 week before then. Because I don't have time for all that stuff. The longer you chat, that's the number one mistake we make. We chat with the women too long. Now you start getting feelings for somebody you don't really know. It's a stranger. So then now you feel obligated to send money and stuff like that. You're not going to learn any more in 6 months than you're going to learn in 6 days. They're not going to give out that information. They'll pull it out of you, but they're not going to give it to you, man. They're not going to give you that information. You got to come over here. Then you'll be able to see and learn everything you need to learn. They don't want just, look, they got, their vision is far than just a few dollars, guys. The women who are just asking for money, that's not the typical Filipino. They're looking way in the future. Okay, they're thinking maybe visa, a better life, or something like that. Just you sending her 5,000 pesos is not going to change her life at all. She wants you over here. Okay, that's the ultimate goal. Okay, that's the reason that's the only reason that they'll talk with 3 or 4 men online, because they don't know which one is coming. They don't know which one is telling the truth. But she knows 3 of y'all lying because they've been talking to people. This is one thing we do. We'll tell them, oh, I'm coming, and you never come. The man who gets over here, boots on the ground, okay, you're going to be the winner. I don't care how much money they can send them. I told you before, the guy, the Asian American guy who was chatting with Marilyn, he was rich. He owned the restaurant and everything. He sent Marilyn 50-something thousand the very first time. Man, that's a lot of money, man. But guess what? He couldn't get over here. They want somebody that's going to be over here. They ain't got time for all them old games. She could have sat there and talked to him forever and got more money. I got over here and the rest was history. you know, he said he was there before the dating site. Yo, well, how was you meeting them then? Was you meeting them in the clubs and stuff? But I'm telling you, you know, one thing you need to think about, okay, is your long-term future. Because why would you want to get involved with a woman who lives way over here and not be able to see her? And you not be able to see each other once or twice a year? See, this is what you got to think about. Because if you come over here, you're going to have the time of your life. And then when you go back, you're going to be like, but damn, I'm not going to be able to see her for another year, or 6 months, or 8 months, or whatever it is like that. See? This is what, you know, then you're going to have to torture yourself. That's why the woman, what was her name? What was the lady's name, Michael Beecher Life, that came on here and said, this is why Filipinos really like older men. She said because they can stay over here. They're already retired. We don't like LDR relationships. She's the only Filipino ever given the nitty gritty, the real talk. That was the real talk, okay? When she said that I've had respect for her ever since. She never said anything about money because the money's in there. But she didn't say that. She said, yeah, because they can stay over here. They don't have to keep running back and forth because we don't like long distance relationships. But you can't tell me in that. Yeah, Seth's travel vlogs. Seth's travel vlogs. Thank you. She just told it like it was. I mean, I've been on YouTube going on 5 years, but even since I had a channel, even before then, I never heard a Filipino tell it like it really was. Tell you the real truth. Okay. That's the real truth. Okay. I'm sorry. That's the real damn truth of why they like older men. They ain't got time. Here you are. You come over here. She's going to roll out the red carpet for you. She's going to treat you like you've never been treated before. And then you got to leave. It makes her feel like she did all that for nothing. You know, makes her feel like she's been used. So if you're an older guy, you're already 55, 60, you're already retired. She knows that, you know, all that didn't go to waste. You know. Yeah, she, you know, I haven't seen her since. I'd like to have her on her because she said that she married a man. When she was 28, she got married to a man 66. And they've been living happily ever after ever since. With the big house by the beach, travel all over Asia and all of that, okay? Yeah, well, see, this is the problem, Michael Beecher Life. We won't stay in our lane. We believe in the wrong stuff. If I'm a tool, man, what makes me think, you think it's because of my money? Well, sometimes, yeah. But that's not going to keep her around, man, because they're looking at you all day long. You got to take a bath, wear clean clothes, look halfway decent, man. You're going to be walking around with this young lady. She's going to be walking around with you. But thank y'all so much for your super chats, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support, man. My battery getting ready to go down on my computer. But I'll be back on here, what's today, Friday? Sunday. I'll probably have Blizzard abroad with me. But yeah, this, we can talk a whole lot about this dating site thing. Because I think this is what trips men up the most. It's not the money, really. You know, it's the dating sites that trip them up, because that's the first thing that you encounter. You encounter the dating site before you encounter the money, and you're meeting the wrong women. You're meeting the wrong women, guys, and they're asking you for money like that. Marilyn's standing right here. She'll tell you. Okay? She never asked me for money. She didn't have to ask me for money. Yeah, I'm probably going to be in Manila for a couple of more days. But take care, y'all, because I don't want this to stop and then the stream keep going. Yeah, so Blizzard Abroad, yeah. If I were you, Blizzard Abroad, I would wait. I would wait and come on after me. Because that way, see, people are still wanting to talk right now. Thank you, I love LaChon. Appreciate you, man. Oh, okay, yeah, he's off on Saturday. I forgot. Yeah, but that would be Sunday here. See? That's what I'm saying. Michael Beach Alive. His Saturday is our Sunday. See, when y'all say tomorrow, it's let's see, what's today? It's still Thursday for Blizzard Abroad it's midnight now, Friday, early Friday. Hey, I appreciate you, Tim. Yeah, see, I forgot. Yeah, see, when I come on Sunday, that's his Saturday. I come on early, so that he could come on right behind me because he got good topics, man, but there's nobody, sometimes this is how we got to help each other in the YouTube genre. You can circumvent that algorithm because the algorithm is not going to send anybody his way. And once people start listening to what he's saying and his content, they'll come back and look at his videos and then look forward to his live streams and stuff. Yeah, we got to get his watch time up. And this is what we'll do it. To go on and get the man, some coins here so he can get off that hamster wheel a little sooner. But take care, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Yeah, this damn